Oh, I got some juicy news for you. Profit First app version 2.0 is here. With an enhanced user experience and video guidance throughout, you can now be even more confident in your Profit First implementation. Plus, listeners who work with a certified Profit First professional get extra benefits. Check it out now at www.profitfirstapp.com.
Today, right here, right now, this is the moment that you will finally say,
I'm growing my accounting practice, and you're going to discover exactly how right here, right now,
on the Grow My Accounting Practice podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ron Saharian, co-founder of Profit First Professionals.
And I'm Liz Ford, guide here at Profit First Professionals.
And I'm Mike Michalowicz, author of Profit First. And guess what? You're listening to GMAP, stands for Grow My Accounting Practice. We are here to teach you the step-by-step on exactly that, how to grow your practice if you're a bookkeeper, if you're an accountant, or a coach. And we do it through a great guest interview, including today's interview. Plus, Ron has insider access, something he's developed for our office we think you can use over at your office. And I have a GMAP Now task. The one task, if you do it, you'll see results by the end of this show.
All right, Liz, welcome back.
Thanks. Hey, Ron, how's it going today?
Very good. I'm excited for today's show, especially because it's brought to you by Impressia Bank.
Oh, we love those ladies.
One of the selected few that's actually a certified Profit First professional bank where they're able to open up the bank accounts. They understand the system. They're not going to look at you like you have several horns sticking out of your head,
Correct.
right? And so
or penalize you for all the accounts. Like
yeah,
charging up
right.
The,
So it's also the first 100% women's run bank.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really special. We're supporting them. They're supporting us. So reach out to Impressia. Tell them Ron said hello.
Hey, Ron. So I had a question for you. You gave us a couple of weeks ago 50 million peppers and stuff. How's your garden? Did you close it down?
Closed it down, ripped everything out, all done. You know, I'm trying something new this year. I've been replanting my peppers every single year, like new ones every year. I read that I could probably trim them, keep them down, and have 2 years to 3 years out of the same plant. So I'm trying that for the first time this year.
That's great. I have not done my garden. I've taken it down yet. So if you are free this weekend and wanted to come do it for me, I will not say no to that.
I'm actually fishing. I went to Mecca, the big bass outlet home store out in Missouri, and
it's called Mecca.
I call it Mecca. It's like, you know, the center of the universe for fishing, right?
Oh, but in where were you? What
Missouri, Branson, Missouri, where they
I went there. We had dinner in that restaurant when we stopped by.
Yeah, I did too. It's huge.
It's so nice.
Yeah,
That's
and so I went there. Okay, and I bought a fishing reel.
Oh, right. The one that's too fancy for you.
The one that's I don't know how too fancy for me. Yeah. So
awesome. Wait, did you do the zip line? There's a zip line right next to the
No, I went to Howler Bike Park.
Oh,
guys, check out this bike park, Howler Bike Park. Tell them Ron sent you. It is unbelievable. They've got glamping, they've got studios, they've got tents, the trails. They bring you up in these army trucks, and it's insane. So if any of you adventurers out there, go check out Howler Bike Park. Tell them Ron sent you, and tell John
Branson,
a discount. He doesn't know I'm saying that. Missouri.
All right. That's exciting. Congratulations. I'm glad you went out there.
But I'm actually even more excited about today's guest. Because,
I know, me too.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about recruiting, staffing, all that great stuff. I have a background in it, as some of you know. So why don't you go ahead and welcome our guest?
All right. So our guest today is William. He likes to be called Will. He told us I'm allowed to. Spengler. And he's the founding and principal for Frederick Fox, which is a fast growing recruiting firm specializing in placing top tier finance and accounting talent. Since launching in 2019, the firm has scaled to serve over 700 clients with a team of 55 plus veteran recruiters, achieving growth without outside funding. That's amazing. Build on the foundation of cutting-edge tech, recruiter empowerment, and op efficiency. Frederick Fox. This is a mouthful for me today. This is really good. Hold on. Frederick Fox delivers exceptional hiring and outcomes. When William is not supporting his team's growth, he is a guitar-playing father of 3. I also have 3 children. And a math nerd turned entrepreneur. Spicy food loving. Ooh, we should have sent him some of your peppers.
Yeah.
Early riser and who swears by hot yoga. Oh my God, we're like best friends already. without further ado, welcome, Will.
Oh my.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, we're excited you're here.
Yeah, no, that was a great intro. I appreciate it. I do have 3 kids. I have a 6-year-old and a soon to be 2-year-old girl. I went back for a
Oh,
third. I finally got my
yeah.
girl.
Oh, yay.
Which is
Those are
exciting.
little.
Yeah, I was an early riser, but ever since I had my first girl, not so much anymore. She's keeping
Yeah. It's
You
late
li-
nights instead. You're like, okay, now I'm a night owl. We'll do that
Yeah.
instead. Yeah,
Yep.
that's great.
Love spicy food, and yeah, we are a staffing company. I started it 6 years ago. I like to say I was just young enough, just dumb enough to start a company about 6 years ago. I was 31 at the time, 37 now. We've got a team of, I believe, about 56 recruiters. We've got 5 people in the back office. We we now have, I think, just shy of 900 clients in the
Nice.
United States. We predominantly do accounting and finance, more corporate accounting and finance. And then our second biggest vertical this year has been sales, sales and
Okay.
operations roles. Used to
That's
do a
helpful.
lot of tech. And then when Silicon Valley Bank went down in 2022, the tech market got soft. PE stopped going into tech. So less tech, albeit we wish we did more tech.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about a $10 million business and in annual revenues, and it's been a heck of a ride. So
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's a lot in 6 years. Well done.
Yeah,
So fun.
that's a lot of are your recruiters onshore, local, nearshore, or where are they based?
all local in the U.S. We are fully remote. We're headquartered out of Delray Beach, Florida. I think in Florida we have.
Delray.
I love
Nice.
Yep.
Boynton. I like Boynton Beach.
I
That's my favorite.
I
So nice.
I love Boynton too. So
So
yeah, we
nice.
lived in Boynton for a while, and then I finally started to make enough money to move to Delray. So
Nice. Look at you.
so no, I love it down here. That's where our accounting is and where I sit. And then but all our recruiters are onshore, not offshore. We do have 3 people in Vancouver. So we're starting to do a little bit in Canada, but
Right.
Canadians like to do business in the US for the exchange. So most of it is all US based.
So
great.
let's get down to it. I was in the business for about 15 years prior to you even getting in the business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was in it from like 95 to 2000 and something like that. I saw technology. I mean, the internet came to life, right? Email was coming to life. We went to CRMs instead of stacks of resumes. I used to go get resumes A through H and then call everybody there, right? Smiling and dialing from the 90s. Then, technology became more and more, and you had the job boards monster came on out and stuff like that. And now we have Indeed, and you have all these other, things. I got out of the industry 10 years ago, okay, maybe 11
Okay.
years ago. Can you
And
just
you'll never
share
go
with
back, huh?
No, no way. No,
Me
because
neither.
but I'll tell you what though, it's a very good business. If you can deal with the work, it's a manual job. It really is a manual job. And you can
Trust.
deal with the negotiations and the back and forth. I mean, it's serious negotiations every single day, a dollar up, a dollar down, Um, but where do we stand today? Like, how are you separating yourself from all of the other recruiting firms out there? And like Liz mentioned earlier, why don't everybody just go to a job board Indeed and get somebody?
Yeah. So as far as like differentiation, I think where we're different versus other recruiting agencies is our value prop to recruiters working for us. I can do a separate discussion on the value prop to the end client. Um, it's I'll get into that in a minute, but I think there's a real trend right now in agency recruiting where every recruiter wants to start their own recruiting firm. So we built it's more of a shared services model where we handle the back office. So we cover staffing insurance, we handle APAR, payroll, we'll fund payroll for contract staffing. We do it all in-house and we're almost set up like a real estate brokerage would be.
Mm.
So a lot of agency recruiters that are they're done working for the large shops with the draw or low base plan plus commissions, and they want to either start their own firm or they wish there was sort of like our type of model out there where we have the shared services center and they have the independence and autonomous, and they keep 80% of the commissions that when they start out with us. The other like gap we tried to fill was we have a partner program where we move our recruiters to 100% commissions. I know that sounds crazy. It's not a gimmick. We essentially don't profit off our partners, and we give them real equity to protect them in the event of a sale. There's been a real gap at large staffing agencies and even smaller firms where you might be called a partner, but you're not protected from an equity perspective and you don't have like certain rights to net income every month. So I think our model appealed to the person that wants to go independent but doesn't want to be alone and wants the back office support. So I would call it like a community based model is what we call it. And um, it wasn't birthed by my genius. There was a firm called Tima Solutions Group that had a similar model. I became a partner in the business. I believed in what they were doing. I saw a gap for a partnership track and an opportunity to have equity and assets. So I was just young enough to say, and dumb enough because I didn't know what I was getting into starting a business. So good thing I was dumb enough. I just said, I think a model like this needs to exist. So I just started it about 6 years ago, and
Very
it's
interesting.
I loved it. As I was doing a little research, you have this, I think what stuck out to me was the dog help dog model. And you
yes,
just
yep.
described it. And I love that. I think that is there's so much that I thought our, our members could benefit from that, because we have so many members who are looking to hire, or they're wanting to contract because they're afraid of what you just said, that they're going to start they'll hire somebody and they'll start their own firm and then they'll take all their business away. And so this sort of, brings this to light and say, listen, if you want to, I'm here for it. Let's do this together and not be, in secret and hiding. So this is very cool.
How do you work differently with large companies than you do with smaller companies? Meaning, if you're providing a corporate accountant to Pfizer, that's a different relationship than if you're providing a staff accountant to an independent, say firm where there's only two partners and maybe five staff employees. Do you cater to either or do you work with both of those types of customers?
Yeah, we work with both. With large companies, there's more internal, as I'm sure you remember this, internal red tape to get through HR and procurement and the contracts processes. So we try to be malleable to large companies' processes to make sure we're following those. Our ideal customer is in that, I would say, 20 million annual revenue range to, I mean, maybe even as low as 10 million to like 500 million, because if you're a really, really small firm, odds are you don't want to pay a recruiting fee, and I don't blame you. Um,
Right.
but there's this moment in time where companies get big enough and critical positions have either a speed to hire need or a quality of hire where it's like, I see recruiters are like attorneys. Nobody wants to pay a recruiting fee, and I don't blame them. But there are moments where, let's say you're a $20 million business and your controller walks out and quits on you. You just need somebody in that role doing payroll, APAR. You need your business to function. Um, you know, that's
I
where
could
I think
see it.
we,
I could
you know,
I could see it's like some of our members, Liz, some of our members are actually in a position to exit their company.
Mhm.
And a lot of them are exiting because they don't want to deal with the company anymore. It's not that it's a bad company, but they've never been able to hire themselves out, meaning they
Mhm.
haven't been able to replace themselves. Okay. How do you overcome that? Like how do you deal with the business owner that is saying, no one's good enough. I can't find anybody. There's no one out there that can do my job.
Yeah.
I'm pausing because it's a great question. And I'm thinking in my head, I have that problem. I think when you're a singular focus, you can create a bottleneck where you're holding back the business from growing past you if you maintain control, right? So sometimes, like if you keep bottleneck everything to you as an owner, you might actually be stopping your business from being bigger than you could possibly have an effect on it. So I
Amen.
think that's a little bit of a perfectionist mindset to overcome.
Mhm.
I'm still trying to overcome it personally. So um, I think at the end of the day, you have to believe that other people are equally talented, sharing your mission, and have the experience in the past. And at some point, you've got to allow people to lead and be creative. And you might be surprised that they are better at what you do than you are.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
great. I one of the questions that I get a lot is, besides the where to find them, is where to start. So, thinking of our audience, again, bookkeeping firm owners, accounting firm owners,
Sure.
they love numbers. They love doing what their financial brain wants them to do. They start to hire. They say things like, I sort of have a vision statement. I sort of have a mission. I sort of have values. I don't know what I'm trying to hire for. How do you help firms? Or, and maybe, that's too small of where you spend your time, but what would be your advice for where to start when looking to hire your replacement or hire? I know you do a lot of senior level hiring. Where do you start?
This might be a more like interpersonal emotional answer, but I'm just going to kind of
Yeah,
go
get
there.
it. Hmm.
It is, and it could be a little wooey, but I think as a business, at some point you have to plant your flag on this is who we are, this is what we do, this is our business
Hmm.
model. Um, you're never going to be able to outspend or have the budget of a large firm. But as a smaller company, I think you can win with clear direction and clear vision.
Hmm.
And I always tell people, if you're nervous to hire, um, A players pick up on your confidence. Even if you're a nothing burger business, if you're clear about your vision and your mission and your value proposition, that will overrule the large company and the money. And so I think you have to plant your flag and say, okay, this is me, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'm going, and speak it with confidence, and people will follow.
I agree. I agree.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
yeah, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, so you're what you're saying, if I'm understanding correctly, a smaller firm can have a competitive advantage by actually sharing what some of their vision is, what some of the more intimate opportunities there actually are, right? To be a
Yeah.
part of something larger and grow something and have, a seat at the table
Yeah.
potentially.
Yep.
Exactly. Like small bookkeeping firms or CPA firms, oftentimes, they can't outpay Ernst and Young, but there might be a faster track to partnership, or there might be ability to be part of policies and procedures and setting up frameworks in the company. Whereas at Ernst and Young, you have to abide by their frameworks. There might be better work-life balance. You might have a certain client base you prefer to service and why. And so when you go to hire people, don't create negative thoughts in your head of what you like. Go to market with what you're if you picture your perfect hire and you're in that positive mindset, it opens you up to finding those people and attracting those people. But if you go into it looking for problems and creating a negative vision of how people would receive your offer, um, you can be stuck and not understand why you're not growing.
A little bit of Jedi mind tricking in there, making sure that everything's positive. Talk about the current culture versus being an Eeyore.
But yeah, I don't know if it's getting too wooey, but I just think it's this is who I am, this is where I'm at, this is where we're
Yeah.
going. Here's why. Speak it with confidence, and if they're not interested, keep taking it to
Right.
market,
Yeah.
let them go,
I
you know?
I have to say that's how I got here. I had a business when I started working
Sorcery.
here, and I wanted a lot of things. I wanted to make a lot of money. I wanted to make a lot of difference. I wanted to do a lot of things. And then I found Profit First and I was like, this is awesome. The culture was great. The mission is to eradicate entrepreneurial poverty, which is where I was. my business was not doing what I thought we would be doing when we were doing it. And there were so many amazing things. Like it felt like a startup, even though it was 5 years old, it felt, which is still sort of a startup, but it felt very much like I could steer the ship if I wanted to. And having left a humongous corporation, I was like, I don't want that anymore. And so
Brilliant.
I did, you know, to your point, like I knew where they were, I knew where their hearts were, I knew they had a heart of service, and like here I was. So it was, I'm with you, and I love that you mentioned confidence, because you're right. I mean, we all want to know that somebody's in charge and that they're excited about what they're doing, whatever it is. Just be proud of the fact that, hey, we're making a difference. I can't pay you $1 million, but look what you get to do every day, and then let them
Yeah.
decide. I love that. Thank you. It's great.
Yeah.
I have another question for you. So I know that this is one of the ways that Ron and Mike have hired traditionally, is they hire, and I won't say young, but like people who have less experience to grow them. What are your thoughts on that? So we hear that a lot, is I want to grow, I want to build this person. So I'm going to hire at a position that is, could be admin or ready to be an admin/bookkeeper, production person, with the goal being that they're going to be my ops manager later or something like that. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you help people navigate that?
Yeah. So I think it depends on the amount of time you have as the leader, and
Mm-hmm.
assessing how much time you actually um, have for training and developing somebody. And then I think it's also contingent upon the stage of development of your company. So it's kind of a, a broad question. I have this joke with clients that I like to say is, they come to me, they're like, I want the 2 or 3 years out of school, the whippersnapper. And I always tell
Yeah.
them, everybody wants the whippersnapper till they show up.
Yeah.
And then they want a promotion in 6 months. And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, hey man, you just got through the training and you're not even doing fully your job I hired you for, and you already want a promotion. But if you like that uh, whippersnapper always pushing up, some people love that.
Yeah.
And then I think on the other end of the spectrum is that um, I always used to be young. I tried to take on jobs before I was ready, and did it with this business. But I do think that there are certain moments in business where you do need to hire for experience. And I think that it there's so much value in somebody who's been there, done that, failed 5 ways. And when they're saying, hey, you should do this, it's not them being controlling. It's, hey, I've failed 5 times trying to do what you're doing. I'm trying to save you time. So I know there's a lot of prongs to that answer, but
Yeah.
it depends
I
No, it's
on,
love
great.
that. I
yeah,
love that. I mean, I kind of wish that people in general, right, over the years of hiring I've done have said exactly what you've said, right? Like, I know Liz has said it, other people have said it here. It's a different kind of culture, but hey, listen, I tried doing what you're trying to do, Ron, didn't work, right? I tried doing it this way, that way, this way, this way.
Yeah.
It didn't work. So what are you
Yeah.
doing versus just sitting there, right? But then the opposite side is you have the young whippersnapper coming on. Why don't you do it this way? Why don't you do it this way? Why don't you do I already tried those 10 ways already. That's why I'm doing it this way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. Hiring's hard. I have another question for you. It's really, so we talked about, jokingly said about, Indeed versus a recruiter, but what do our audience members need to understand about working with a recruiting agency? Like what
Versatile.
should they
Yeah.
look at? Because, just like marketing, just like anybody, there are a lot of not great humans out there. I mean, I fell in love with your website, just the way that you share how you do what you
thank you.
do.
Appreciate it.
I worked at a recruiting agency right after I got laid off in the year 2000, and as a tech firm in San Francisco. So I then went into recruiting because that was a really good idea, because everybody was hiring or nobody, and I hated it. And it was a chop shop and it was awful. And I cried every day. And I was like, this is
Boiler
the
room.
Oh my God, it was the worst. And they were terrible people. They were really terrible people.
Hey, easy.
So no, this group, I didn't say all this group I worked for, they were awful humans. They were awful. And so what do we look for in a good recruiting agency? What are some signs that this is an okay group? Besides going to Frederick Fox, but What do you look for?
I won't use it to pitch our services.
That's all right. I will. It's fine.
I I I I think that like I'll pitch private equity groups a lot, and they have their pick of the litter. Retained firms, contingency firms, everyone and their brother wants to work with the private equity firm because they want to get into all their portco companies and spider off and do more business. Um, but I think the thing that they look for and how we try to position it is like actually having like real stats of clients, how long you've been in the business, having actual references of relevant placements you've made before in the past. So let's say there's a bookkeeping firm owner that's on the call right now. Um, I would I would look at that recruiter's background and see, do they have a degree in accounting and finance? How long have they been doing accounting and finance recruiting? What firms have they worked for in the past? Are they notable firms where they would have gotten proper training? And how big is their team? And then I would look for relevant case studies of how you've helped other bookkeeping firms. I think having like, I know Ron, you worked at Aerotech. Um, I think the good thing about coming from a big firm and having that foundation is that you learn how to de-risk hiring. You learn how to do the business correctly. There's so many fly-by-night LLCs in recruiting now, especially in the COVID area, that there's just people that have no recruiting experience that, through grit and phone and cold calling are picking up clients. So I guess
Yeah,
overall,
anybody
I
could
would
be
say
a recruiter.
anyway, yeah, there's no barrier to entry. So,
Yeah.
like there's just a barrier to success. But it's, um, yeah, I would say just do your research, get the case studies, get the references, like do your homework on that person, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So you actually do references, huh?
I do, and the reason being is just it's funny, I hated them as a recruiter because it meant more work, but then when I started this business, nothing's worse than being 6 months in with somebody, you've spent all this time, and you're like the pain of references, let's say it even takes 2 weeks, spend that time to get 2 or 3 professional references, nothing's worse than being 6 months in and realizing you should have just made those calls. You could have saved 6 months' time.
Yeah. What about the personality tests and stuff like that to go
Yeah,
along?
to test or not to test.
Yeah.
They're also every recruiter's worst nightmare.
Yeah, right.
I um, I work with a company called Nerdio that, is a tech unicorn, and they swear by this test called the Wonderlic, and
Oh,
I
yeah. I know
I
the
told
Wonderlic.
the CHRO one day, and I have a good relationship with him, I'm like, "Hey, I can't stand this Wonderlic. I mean, 30% of people pass it. Like, can we get the Wonderlic out of the process?" And he swore by the Wonderlic, and it's one of the fastest growing cloud SaaS businesses in the United States. They just got 500 million in funding. He does all the hiring, and everybody goes through the Wonderlic. And I said to him one day, I'm like, "Okay, I budge. Like, let's that clearly the Wonderlic works, so I'm sold." I had one of my business partners, Rob Thomas, he's certified in one called the BG5. I don't know if you guys have ever heard it. It's like Myers-Briggs meets astrology,
Okay.
and it's a
Ooh, I want
little,
to take it.
um,
Yeah.
I know the Enneagram, the Culture Index, the
Yeah.
Discs, strength
yeah,
finders.
discs. Yeah, I
Acumax.
find them to be accurate about my personality. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've
Yeah.
used them in the past before when I've used them primarily for sales, versus, technical positions and stuff like that. Um, yeah, awesome. Wow. So that's it. I can't believe it went by that fast.
Sure did.
Well, where can our audience find more about you if they want to learn, hire you, and just, contact you?
www.frederickfox.com. I check my LinkedIn like a hawk. So if you message me at 11 o'clock at night, I'll respond. My wife will be upset with me, but I
I
will
was gonna
respond.
say, don't do that.
Yeah,
He's got a
I
little
know, right?
kid.
Dude,
I
Everyone's on
know.
edge.
I think I still have like the first LinkedIn account that was ever issued. Literally, I've had my account since like 97, maybe even
That's amazing.
96. I think it was like one of the first ones ever.
That's amazing.
Great thing.
All right. Well, thank
Awesome.
you. Then yeah, we'll have a link to all of that stuff in
Yep.
our
So,
bio. Thank you so
okay.
much.
hang on. We got what we learned, trippy question, and insider access.
All right, I've got big news for you. I can finally spill the beans. The Profit First app, already the complete system with goal setting, expense analysis, and me, Mike Michalowicz, guiding you, just got its biggest upgrade yet. Introducing Profit First Bank, powered by Dream First, directly integrated with the app. That means automatic allocations, real-time clarity, and less friction than ever before. If you've been waiting for the perfect time to start your Profit First journey, this is it. Head to profitfirstapp.com to set up your Profit First bank account and experience the upgrade.
Hey, Ron, what are your takeaways?
Okay, I got a couple of things. What I learned, it comes down to you as the owner being the bottleneck to the growth of your company, right? If your mindset is no one's good, I can't find anybody, well, guess what? You're going to remain stalled at that particular level. So, listen to what Will said, get out of your own way. Chances are you are the bottleneck.
Yep. Very nice. And mine was I always appreciate the validation that authenticity matters and being you. Like if they don't like you, that's fine. I used to, when I would hire for the education company, I really wanted to make people jealous. And I loved where I worked. I loved what I did. And I wanted people to love it. And if they didn't, we would literally hand them a candy bar. It was a 4-hour interview. We'd hand them a candy bar and say, here's something sweet. Thank you for your time. Right. Like I'm not going to beg anybody to work for us. So I loved, here's who we are. Here's what we stand for. This is what we do. And you can take it or go elsewhere. And I wish you good luck. So I loved it.
Listeners, what'd you learn, right? Don't forget to review and subscribe to Grow My Accounting Practice podcast found on any podcatcher out there.
Any single one. Actually, maybe not anyone. There's probably 8 more that we don't even know about.
Right.
That's where the cool kids go.
Let's get this thing going.
No, we have to do the trippy question first.
Oops. Sorry.
Come on.
I know.
So this is in honor of Will's. Will, you're able to play with us on this one.
Yeah.
What do you miss about childhood? And you have such a sweet spot. I love what you say. 8, 6, and 2. Will, are your kids?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
What do you miss about childhood, gentlemen?
You go first, Ron.
BMX riding, jumping on logs and stuff like that, like making little ramps and just BMX biking in the backyard with all my little dirtbag friends, falling down, getting up, and thinking we're going to be cool motorcycle guys when we're older, and all of that fantasy stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Well, how about you?
Yeah, I'm thinking about jumping on the trampoline as a kid and how fun that would be. I'd be out there for hours, and it's so funny when I see my 3 kids on the trampoline. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
So great.
But I think just living, also, I just miss the carefree nature of you don't have to be task oriented. You don't have responsibilities and looming things, and just I wish I could get back in that mindset.
There's no deals to close.
Yeah, totally.
There's no there's
No one's backing out. No one's asking for another buck.
no counter offers. Yep.
Oh my God. Mine's it's similar to both of you, and it's really just how time expanded, and you would just have these afternoons that felt like weeks, and we walked we walked to and from school, my sister and I, until 6th grade, and those walks felt like they were 18 miles each way, and we would complain about them, but those walks, I miss those the most, of just the 2 of us walking to and from the hill. We went back to see how steep the hill was that we walked. It's awesome. It's like a speed bump. But when we were kids, it took 5 days. It was forever. I miss that expansive time. So it's awesome. All right, gentlemen, thanks so much. Go have your kids because they're just in it. Let's make sure they stay kids as long as possible. It's great. All right, now, Ron, now you can have it. Where'd the lightsaber go? There we go.
Ooh.
Have the sound effect.
It broke.
Lightsabering. Right, you broke it.
It broke. Yeah, I gotta get a new one of these things, to make it go. But that's all right. I got an insider access.
Okay, let's go.
Ooh, nice. This is something that you can do that we're doing in our firm here. And one of the tips, and I'm going to stick with the recruitment, are job descriptions. job descriptions. We share the culture, we share that we're a little bitty company going against the giants. But what we do at the end of the job description is something that we think is unique. Doesn't get a lot of applicants, but the ones that do stick. And that is, we say, hey, if you're really interested in interviewing for this position, send us a video cover letter as to why you're going to rock this job. Right? Awesome.
Love
We put
that.
it at the bottom. We also put in there a little quiz, put subject line, Guns N' Roses. I like Guns N' Roses. I want to make sure that they're reading it. And then at the end, we get very few applicants. So if you're trying this stuff, you're not going to get a lot of applicants, right? But when you do get those applicants, everyone that I've hired who sent the video is still here. Everyone who I hired without that video, I bounced.
All
So,
right.
Awesome,
There you go.
guys. Will, great job. Thank you so much. Liz, great job. Listeners, thank you so much. Don't forget to review and subscribe to Grow My Accounting Practice podcast. And what else do they need to do, Liz?
And if you would like to learn a little bit more about what membership looks like here at Profit First Professionals, I encourage you, I implore you to go to profitfirstprofessionals.com and check out our website, read some blogs. Billy Ann writes some killer blogs, and then head over to the button that says Become a Profit First Professional. You'll have a conversation with Ron or possibly with me, and we'll get to know you a little bit, find out what makes you tick, what makes you get up in the morning, and what you want to increase and decrease and create in your business. We'll see if we can help you get that, and we'll take it from there. But
It'll be fun.
it'll be fun. It's always fun. We have a great time. ProfitFirstProfessionals.com. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.